Hi, this is Dr. Hardy, and welcome to Grade My Plate on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. Thanks for tuning in. So let's just recap here and look at a paper plate. It's divided into 3 partitions. The top of the plate is pretty much half the plate. And when I'm looking at your plates, I am using this as my template. So half the plate should be either all fruit, all vegetables, or a combination of both. And then the bottom half of the plate is divided into 2, and those are called quarters of the plate. So 1/4 should be your protein, and 1/4 should be filled with your whole grain. So let's just look at the first plate here. This plate was submitted by Dory. Thank you for submitting. And this is a great plate. It is pretty much a keto plate, very low carb, high fat, high protein. So it's very healthy and excellent in that sense. When I compare this plate to the healthy plate, in the previous slide, I would say the egg is your protein. So those 2 fried eggs can go into the 1/4 of the plate. Your meat can go in another quarter, which it's sort of in a quarter, maybe spilling over a little bit into more of than just a quarter of the plate. And then your vegetables could be increased to half the plate or add fruit. So, the plate that I use as a template is not the end all be all of plates. It's just a guide. It's a guide to help you think things through when you're serving your plate, when you're serving your kids. It's a guide for a balanced meal. So, having too much protein may not be good for some people, especially people with kidney issues. It can cause a protein overload on their kidney. So if you want a more balanced plate, I would say have half of that plate of like those avocados, but maybe, lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, some other fruits, so vegetables. And then the 2 eggs can fit in the other quarter of the plate, and the meat can be less. So this plate is a beautiful plate. It looks like it has sauteed shrimp, asparagus wrapped in bacon, mashed potato that looks, oh my gosh, and corn. This plate was submitted by Latricia. Thank you so much. This is a beautiful plate. So going back to my template, I would say, okay, you have your protein, which is the shrimp, in about a quarter of the plate. Your whole grain or your processed carb, if you're, trying to wean off of processed food, you can still have a quarter of the plate. And that's that little bit of mashed potato. Looks like 1 scoop. It isn't overboard at all. And then the asparagus and corn is technically, you can say, half the plate. So one thing I would say here, this is it fits the template, but corn is a high glycemic index vegetable. So that, along with the mashed potato, kind of cancels it out as being as healthy as it could be. So if anything, I would have one or the other in this plate, or replace the corn with more green leafy vegetable or something that has a lower glycemic index. But overall, this still passes. This is a great healthy plate. So this third plate was submitted by Diane. I am not sure of everything that's on this plate. I think that's a broccoli salad, and it has some sprinkled walnuts on it. And then there's like 3 pieces of okra, and I think that's some kind of meat, like sausage. So when we're thinking about the healthy plate, we would think of half of that plate as being all fruit, all vegetables, or a combination of both. So it does have pretty much the okra with the broccoli salad. It's almost like half the plate being that. And then those 3 little bits of sausage, that does take up 1/4 of the plate. And there's no whole grain in this plate. So this is like a keto plate, very low carb. The whole grain is what gives you, the highest amount of carbs on a plate usually. So that's why we say just a 1/4 of the plate, because you don't want to go too high on your carbs. You'll start to gain weight despite eating quote unquote healthy. But if it's a really dense carb, um, you'll defeat the purpose. And so we usually say a whole grain because the whole grains have a higher content in fiber. They're longer to digest. So the food digests more slowly. You have less sugar spikes, and there's a decreased chance for you ending up with diabetes. So what are examples of whole grains? Colored rice, black rice, red rice, wild rice, barley, rye, oats, quinoa, buckwheat. There's a host of them, and you can look at their carb content and counts and add that up for your day so you know how much you're getting. So this plate was also submitted by Dory. It's a shrimp salad. It looks beautiful and delicious with avocado on the side. This is basically a keto plate again. So about half the plate is all vegetables, maybe a 1/4 to a little more of the meat. There's no grain. So it's great. It's healthy. It's perfect. It's keto. But for the people who are not doing keto, you could add some more vegetables or fruit to fill up half of that plate. You can add a whole grain like a scoop of quinoa, and that will also help you to stay fuller longer and have less spikes in your blood sugar. This plate was submitted by Theodora. Girlfriend, this plate looks amazing, beautiful, colorful. I love it. Gorgeous, healthy plate. She has roasted chicken there and a superfood salad. So again, thinking of the healthy plate, that superfood salad is pretty much taking up half the plate. Um, it's a little less maybe, but it's, taking somewhat of the circumference of the plate, like half of that plate. So, and it's dense. So I would say it's about half of the plate. And then 1 piece of meat, which would fill up a 1/4 of the plate. And she does not have any grain. So this is a keto plate again. So it's fine depending on how you're managing your own lifestyle. If you are having carb cravings and irritable eating like this, you can put 1 scoop of a whole grain, and that may help balance it out or balance your fog brain out. So I think I'm going to end it here, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Put some comments in. If you think something could have been better in any of these plates, let me know. If you have questions, let me know. And I will see you